Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about the difference between intentional and unintentional manifestation because I have a lot of experience in both of these. And let me tell you, it's better when you're intentional about your manifestations because you just don't know what's going to be thrown your way, and sometimes it's not the way that you want the car to go. So I have some really good stories I want to share with you today because let me tell you, I've effed up when it comes to manifestation because I didn't know that you could do this. I didn't know that there is a right or wrong way to do it. Not that there really is a right or wrong way. It's just more about being intentional with it. So for a long time, I used to think that if I thought about it for too long, then it wasn't going to come true. And that actually was my reality, where I was like, oh no, I really want this thing to happen, so I'm not going to think about it so that it becomes my reality, hopefully. And that didn't work out. But I also found that if I thought about it for too long, it wouldn't become my reality either. So it was this whole I don't know what's going on. And this is before manifestation was used as a term that people understood the concept behind it. So back then, this word didn't exist. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know that I can have control over this. And if you're feeling this way, stick around because I'm going to share how to change this. I'm really excited. I love talking about this stuff because it's really when I realized how you could manifest is when I was like, oh crap, I actually have control over my life. For a long time, I felt like I didn't. I was walking on eggshells and I was being compliant and going along with other people wanted and not really connecting to my soul, my core values, my beliefs. And I was just kind of going with the flow, and it felt like life was being thrown at me and I was constantly in the defensive because I didn't know what the heck was going on or that I had any control over it. So this is really about just taking control of that, and this is my bread and butter. I love this. This is why I started my business, to help other people take control of their lives. So today we're going to be talking about manifestation, but this doesn't mean you have to believe in a higher power. It doesn't mean that you have to believe in God. If you don't, it doesn't mean that you need to start burning sage and doing a cauldron situation or reading a book on how to become a witch. It's none of that. It's none of that. I mean, if you're into that, by all means, go ahead. It's probably going to help you a lot. But if you're not, you don't have to be into these things or feel like you need to now go do this stuff to figure out how to manifest. It's actually a lot easier than you think, and I want to walk you through that. But first, I want you to think about manifestation more so about connecting to yourself and your own energy. And if you don't love the word manifestation, then you can call it connection, because that's really what it is. It's just connecting to yourself, and when you do that, it kind of opens up this locked up door or wall. We can all talk about and relate to and visualize when people put up walls. You realize when you're in the middle of a conversation that someone's disconnected, right? So this is really about reconnecting, but to yourself. Ultimately, you're connecting to something you desire that you don't yet have. That is what manifestation is. It's connecting to something that you don't yet have, but you really, really want. So one topic that's very popular when we talk about manifestation and mindset as well is money. It's a huge topic. So I want to share with you 2 examples on this topic of unintentional manifestation, so you can understand what I mean by that, and then intentional manifestation. So unintentional manifestation, this is years ago when I was in university or had just finished university, and I really wanted to pay off my student loans because I had learned that if you did it by a certain date, then you could basically prevent yourself from inquiring interest rates and whatever. So I was I really just want to pay this off and not have to pay more than what I have to pay. And I was working 9 to 5s. I had multiple part-time jobs. I was interning. I was figuring out how to get my career ahead. I was doing all these things, but I didn't know what manifestation was. So in the back of my mind, I was any extra money that I'm making is going towards this, paying off my student loans. I'm doing this. And then the date was coming up and I'm oh man, I'm not going to make it. So what happened? I manifested it. And again, this is unintentional manifestation because I didn't know what manifestation was at the time or that I had any control over it. And what happened was that I got into a car accident. I mean, if anyone is manifesting anything, it's definitely not that. No one wants their goal to come through in that way because it's just not a good experience, let me tell you. But again, I didn't know how to manifest, but everything was working around me to make this happen, right? Like to make this goal my reality. So I ended up getting into a car accident, and the payout for it ended up being more than what I had originally paid for the car. So I was like, perfect. I now have money to buy a car, and I have the lump sum money that I need to finish paying off my student loans before the interest kicks in. Check mark, manifested that. Again, unintentional manifestation, because there's a way of doing this that you can actually call in better outcomes than getting into a car accident. Let me just say. So now let me share with you intentional manifestation. If I'm looking over here, it's because I have notes, because I don't want to miss anything. I want to share it out with you. So intentional manifestation looks like this. I want to start a business to help people take control of their lives, because at this time in my life, I had done like a 180. I had done a lot of mindset work, and I was like, oh my gosh, manifestation is a real thing. Oh my goodness. I can actually like have control of my life. More people need to know that this is a possibility for them too. You know, like I'm no longer walking around on eggshells and like second guessing stuff and not sure what to do. I'm like, I need to help other people take control of their lives. And I realized also at this time that one source of income meant someone had control over me, because if I lost my 9-to-5 job, that meant that I wouldn't have an income. So I was like, I got to do something about this, and I want to help people. So I'm just going to start a business. You know, that was the idea. And I started visualizing what it would look like to be doing that kind of work and living that kind of life. And when I say this, I mean, I got very clear. I got very, very clear. Who was I hanging out with in my personal life? What kind of conversations was I having? You know, what type of clients was I working with if I was starting this business? What would those conversations with those clients look like? What would I be wearing? What would I be doing every day? Like, what does my day-to-day look like? What would I be doing on the weekends? Who am I hanging out with? Like, literally got very detailed on what that possibility of life could look like. And then I came across a coach on Instagram that I had actually been following for a few years, and I reached out to them and I was like, hey, heard about your program. This is what I'm into. This is what I'm thinking about. Can you help me out? And then I decided to just take the action. At that point, literally, I had an idea that to me didn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know how you make money off of this. Truly have no idea how you make money off of this. No clue whatsoever. But I took the action anyways. You know, I took it despite the unknown and despite the fear, because ultimately I'm like, people need to know that this is a possibility for them, and I want to help them, and this feels like it's connected to my soul. So I took the action, and at the beginning of the program, we were asked to write down what we wanted to get out of this. And I had written down that I wanted to get 4 clients by the end of the year. Again, at this point, I had no idea what the heck my business was even going to be. So it was very delusional if you think about it. Logically, nothing made sense. Delusional Anna over here, thinking she could get 4 clients, not even knowing what her business is, aside from like this overarching idea, you know? And at this point, it was October, so I literally had 4 months to get these clients. So I started taking action. I started posting on social media. I started reminding myself, why am I doing this? What does my life get to look like? What is the life of the people that I get to help look like? What is going to change, not only in my world, in the worlds of others? I got so clear on that. I started taking action, posting on social media, telling people about my new venture, posting things as the ideas came up. I didn't self-sabotage myself. I was like, I'm just going with the flow here. I started doing the work, connecting to my core purpose, the vision, all of that. And within 3 days of officially launching my business, I landed my first client. I was like, what? Like this was like an idea that came out of nowhere. Landed my first client. And then not only did I pay back what I invested, but 2 weeks later, I landed 3 more clients. So I ended up manifesting these 4 clients. So now you have 2 examples of like unintentional manifestation and intentional manifestation when it comes to money. And this has happened again and again in my life and for clients as well in different aspects. Like I've sold items that had been listed on Facebook Marketplace for 3 months. I'm like, this isn't going to sell. No one wants it. Sold. I'm like, amazing. I had a goal for saving for a trip and ended up getting an unexpected raise when I was working 9 to 5. I was like, this is wild. I'm like, I literally like this raise is going to help me pay for my trip. You know, I walked into a dealership knowing that my dream car, which at the time was a Jeep Wrangler, knowing that the Jeep Wrangler was out of reach because they're expensive. And it turned out that the day that we went in to inquire about other kind of Jeep models, they were having a 3-day promotion on the Jeep Wrangler. So I ended up getting my dream car. Like, there's no way I could have known that. I wasn't like Googling stuff. I wasn't searching stuff. I just knew walking it. Like, I didn't even want to test drive it because I'm like, I'm just going to fall in love with a car that I can't afford. Like, no. And then it just so happened that they were having this promotion. So I ended up getting it. I was also determined to go to Paris for my birthday one year and came across a sale that like doesn't really happen. When I tell you the price, you're gonna be like, how did you get that? It was a round trip for $600, and it wasn't even flying in and out of the same country. Like, I flew into the UK and flew out of Paris. Like, where do you find a deal like that nowadays? I was also able to add my balcony egg chair, which I love that chair. You probably see it in my stories all the time because that's where I do my like morning routine journaling meditation. And I wanted this chair so badly, but they're so expensive, like $600 at the time. And I had found it at 50% off. I was like, OMG, but it was consistently out of stock. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep adding it to the cart every day, and hopefully one day it works out. And it did. Like, literally it said out of stock, and I clicked add to cart, and I was like, why does this say I have an item in my cart? And it was the egg chair, and I ended up getting it at 50% off, and within 4 days, I got the chair. So, manifestation works, and I want to share with you 5 things you can start doing to manifest with intention. Okay, these are 5 things that you can just start putting into play right now to be very intentional with your manifestation. So let me break it down. Number 1, the first thing you want to do for manifesting is getting clear on what you want. Be specific, like super specific. If you want a house, what does this house look like? How many windows does it have? How many rooms does it have? How many bedrooms does it have? You know, it's like, imagine, this is what I say to my clients, and they love this analogy. It's like Santa is putting together this house for you, and every time you change your mind, it's like trying to figure it out, and then all of a sudden you have like a car with like half a house and a tent coming out the side because you kept changing your mind on what you wanted. So get very clear on what you want. That's number 1. Number 2, visualize already having it. So like, what does it feel to already have this goal? What does it feel to see yourself there if it's like going on a trip? What does it feel like to own this thing, to drive these things, to do these things? And this helps plant seeds into your subconscious. And then embody already having it. It's like, I already have this. You know, let's just say you want a new purse. Like, what does it feel like to have that new purse, and then embody it? Like, take one of your old purse and be like, this is my new purse, and go out with it and play with those feelings. Because when you do that, you're like turning on your happy meter. And when you turn on your happy meter, better things come your way. Okay. Like, the universe is attracted to happiness. Okay. So that's number 3. So number 1, get clear on what you want. Number 2, visualize already having it. Number 3, embody already having it. So it's like tapping into the feelings. Number 3 is take action. Okay. Even if it's like an Amazon delivery, you still have to go online, choose what you want, add it to cart, and pay, right? Like, you are taking the action to get that Amazon delivery the next day. Same thing with manifesting. You need to take action. So what does that look like? Write down all the ways that this goal that you want can become your reality. Doesn't mean like reaching out to someone. What does that look like? Number 5 is listening to the nudges. So that means like, if you had this random idea, you're like, oh my gosh, I just thought of Anna, who I haven't like talked to in like 4 months. I wonder what she's up to. It's for a reason. Reach out, okay? Like, take action on those like weird thoughts that like not logical, don't know where it came from. Those are little nudges, okay? So I'll recap it. Number 1, get clear on what you want. Number 2, visualize already having it. Number 3, embody the feelings of already having it. Number 4, take action. And number 5 is listen to the nudges, those little ideas that might not make sense, okay? Those things are really gonna help you put into practice, and you're gonna start seeing results. You know, there's more that goes into this. Let's be honest, this is a free little thing here, of course. There's more that goes into this, but just practicing these 5 steps will start to get you results. These are the first things that I did to start manifesting, and I started getting results. The deeper I went into, the quicker the manifestations happen, the quicker that I was able to get what I want, and bigger things also. So if you want to dive deeper into manifesting, I put together a program that walks you through the exact steps that I took to intentionally start manifesting and do a 180 with my life. I literally went from like toxic job, not taking care of myself, toxic relationships, to the life that I have now, which is amazing. Like, this is like, I remind myself every day, I'm like, this is exactly who I am meant to be and exactly where I'm meant to be. Like, that feeling is just golden. I hope everyone experiences that. So in this, the Good Vibes Club is what my program is called. You get access to 5 workshops. The first one is, it starts with you. So it's all about self-awareness, loving yourself. Number 2 is money attraction and abundance. Session 3 is about getting it together. So this is about like time management and organization, because without these things, when you're like putting it into play, it feels like you're taking on a lot. And I really want you to have clarity and time in your calendar to really enjoy things. Number 4 is self-sabotage, so you can get out of your own way. And number 5 is putting it all together, so the manifestation and the energy that comes into that. You get lifetime access to the course, which means that you can revisit this whenever you want. And it's not only the workshops, but it's also workbooks that come with it, so you can take this all deeper. But I want to go further with you. So this time around, because I want you to have the best year yet. So this time around, we're going to spend 2 weeks together live, going deeper into the manifestation with a little bit of a Q&A style and additional resources. So this is going to be a private group for those that join. We start July 22nd. And we're going to go for 2 weeks in this group, just getting really deep into your manifestations, your goals, answering your questions so that you can just go to town and make this your best year yet. It is $222, like it's low investment. And I'm really excited about the group part of this. I think it's going to be awesome. This is a course for anyone looking to live life with more intention. That's really what this is about. You do not have to have a business. This is just about your life. If you have a business, this is also going to be beneficial. But if you're also a business owner and looking for, one-on-one support and accountability, I have 3 spots for my private coaching program, which is called First Class Freedom. And in that, you get access to all my courses, including the Good Vibes Club. So if you're a business owner, that might be a better fit. If you're just looking for manifestation and just like bettering your life, and whatever that looks like for you and doing life with more intention, Good Vibes Club is chef's kisses. I love this program. You know where the links are. They're in my bio. But if you have any questions, just hop into my DMs. Let's have a conversation and we can talk all about this. But I'm so excited to help you guys start manifesting with intention. And if anything, just start practicing the 5 steps that I mentioned, and it's going to change everything for you. Let's manifest.